do men over 50 really want in bed, but they're not likely to ask for it? Thank you so much for joining us again on Second Act TV. I want to welcome back Robert Manni, the author of The Guys Guide for Love and the host of Guys Radio and TV right here on YouTube. Robert, thanks for being here again.
My pleasure, Silka. Thank you for having me.
Well, we've got a very popular topic today. There's lots written about it, and I want your input from the man's perspective, and that is, what do men over 50 really want in bed, but they're not likely to ask for it? I actually did a segment with this with Lori Gerber, and the perspective there was what women think men want in bed. Do we get it right? And lots of engagement. So now we're getting it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
Okay. Yep. That's me.
Yeah. So what's written out there? Is it right? What do men really want in bed? Let's get right into it. One of the things that men really want, but they will never admit it because it seems weak, is they just want to feel desired. That men after 50 want to feel desired.
Well, I think that's perfectly understandable. I think every man wants to feel desired, and men over 50, because they're aging and there's a lot of, hot young guys out there. And now you got the whole cougar thing, and older women like to date younger guys. So of course they want to feel desirable, and things happen, like their hair starts to go and their muscle tone or whatever, or they're out of the workforce, whatever it is. There's a lot of challenges in terms of your self-esteem. But of course, who doesn't want to feel wanted?
When I thought about this, because I had to think, well, yeah, of course they want to feel. But no, I don't. I do think they don't admit it. Oh, gosh, I want to feel desired. Nobody's going to say that. However, do younger guys really? I mean, younger guys just want sex. I'm not sure that they want to feel desired necessarily. And as you said, as things change, that desire becomes more and more important. And what the takeaway for women is, make them feel desirable.
I agree 100% with all of that. I think when you're younger, you just want to go. And when you get a little older, with all of those variables that I mentioned, feeling desirable is a really good thing and can really take the relationship and the intimacy to another level. So I would say, yeah, it's very important that the guy wants to feel desired.
Here's this comes up all the time, of course. Libido. We hear women, lose their libido. Again, a whole other topic. What about men? How often do men really want sex now? I mean, is there a big change? What do you think?
I can only speak for myself. And to me, it's more about quality than it is about quantity. You want it to be great. Whereas when you're younger, a lot of times you just want to get it, and you want to conquer, and you want to get in bed, and you want to it doesn't matter. And then you want to get up and leave. And I think when you're an older guy, you want it doesn't have to be every day. Although I've heard people say, yeah, I asked a woman one time, a colleague, who worked at a different company, so it wasn't sexual harassment or anything. We were talking, and she said twice a day, every day. I said, really? You get twice a day, every day? I was like, my God, that's pretty impressive. So I don't know what everybody's getting, everybody else, but that would be like, whoa, okay.
I call bullshit on that.
Probably.
They bring up a interesting point here, and that is that sometimes it seems like a man is losing desire, but what's really happening is a fear of rejection, or he doesn't want to beg for it. Especially, I mean, we're talking about maybe longer term relationships now, and we've talked about this with women. When men, women lose their libido and blah 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 blah. Well, they don't if there's somebody new. So it's a whole other situation. But I thought that was really interesting that men, or I should say, I'm asking you that, they're tired of begging, and maybe that makes
that's true. Well, no guy wants to do that. And when you're on, every couple, the man and the woman are on a different type of schedule. And hopefully in long term, you make it work. If you you drift apart with your scheduling, that makes it tough. And a lot of times, if the woman is, for whatever reason, not that into it, or she's tired, she has so many balls to keep in the air that, she has to, it's almost like scheduling the sex.
Hmm.
For a guy, if he's always like mentally ready, then they'd be like, come on, maybe she will take the lead in this thing. I don't have to always be, after it. It just becomes tedious, and it makes
Hmm.
you like say, I'll just watch the game, or I'll go to
Yeah.
bed, and tomorrow's a new day,
Yeah.
and hope for the best.
What about performance anxiety? Does it play a bigger role than we as women realize?
Well, I think, because it's so overt, where a guy, he's excited, you can see it. It's right there. If the guy's not up and ready, nothing's going to really happen. So there is some, and the guys get older, they have less testosterone, and so it's you're not going to, it's
Hmm.
probably not going to be as frequent, but it can be as good, if not better, because hopefully as the guy matures, how to he knows the woman's
Yeah.
body, and I've found that women want nothing more than to please their partner, if they're being respected and being cared to and being paid attention to.
I think the key word is reassurance. The takeaway here for women is that one, realize that performance anxiety is in fact a big deal. It is, even when men
Mhm.
that normally maybe don't have an issue, as we get older things change, and that is likely to be up here. So reassurance of desire is, I would
It's a
think,
good
a
thing.
key thing.
As all of us, we get older and guys have to perform. You've got meds, you've got stress, you've got age, you've got drugs and alcohol, maybe, and other things. So there's a lot, and maybe some physical ailments that they have.
Mhm.
So we have to factor all of that in, and
Yeah.
I think reassurance is a really good thing.
What about sexual fantasies? That's another question that came up a lot. Do men over 50 still have sexual fantasies? Are they different than they were?
Well, again, I can only thank you. Great question. I can only speak for myself. I think that, of course, men over 50 have sexual fantasies. I think the fantasies probably change, evolve as the man evolves. What might be their ideal when they were 25 might be very different now. And the interesting thing is, like, guys, we don't get together and talk to each other about how we have sex with our partners. I don't know any guys who do that. It's like if something weird happened that's funny, then maybe you would share something, but not if it's with your wife. So we don't know what other guys are doing. But I think that people, and guys in particular, become creatures of habit. And so if
Mhm.
they like something, it's like if it ain't broke, keep doing the same thing. So if they like you in a certain outfit, if they like certain things that you do, if it's some type of role thing, they like that, then assume that they like that. You want to try new stuff? Great. But know that you always have old reliable in terms of the things that have worked. So if they've worked and you need it to work, you always can go back to what's worked in the past.
Yeah, I question, or I wonder why that this question came up or was very prevalent, because I don't sexual fans, I think we're all hesitant to talk about that because one, we don't want to be laughed at. It's something very personal. So I'm not sure how why that even really came up. Well, and to your point about trying new things, the question here is, are men generally open to it, or are they stuck in their way?
Well, like everything else, a lot of guys over 50 get stuck in their ways, or they know it all, and that's the end of it. I even know from my work and my show and my book and everything, people think it's all about guys. Well, half the audience is women because women are, I think, more open-minded. So
Mhm.
with guys, though, I think it's important that women open up and explore, get them to talk about what they're interested in, tell them what you're interested in. And if they don't want to hear it, then they don't, too bad. Like,
Mhm.
I think it's worthy of a conversation, and maybe you can hit the jackpot in terms of like learn something that may really work to spice up and take your sexual relationship to the next level.
Mhm.
What could be wrong with talking about it? He doesn't want to talk about it, so okay, he doesn't talk about it, but you know what,
Mhm.
he loses out if you can
Mhm.
get the guy to discuss what he's interested in, and you can get across to him what you're interested in. I think it's always better to show instead of tell. Like any good story, show it, don't tell it. So
Yeah.
you can show him what you want, and
Mhm.
you can show him what you think he might respond to. And that's probably a lot better, actually, than just having words. when you're in the sexual throes, the experimentation, the moves, the touch,
Yeah.
etc. That's what's really makes it happen.
Yeah. I think stuck in their way is a big thing. I think that we all sort of get stuck in our way,
Sure.
like you said, if we like something, but I think that may be more of an issue with men. Think about it. Leave us your comments. What do you think about,
Yep.
what do you think about this one? What kind of advice would you give a woman? Okay, the next one here, you've alluded to it, meds, things like Viagra, Cialis. Is that something that is that we can talk about now? Is that something men are embarrassed to share? How do meds factor into sex after 50?
Good question. I think the topic is, when I was referring to meds, I meant, somebody's taking blood pressure medicine
Right.
or whatever, not sexual enhancement
Mm-hmm.
medicine. So I think that, my personal opinion, if it's working, why talk about it? The guy's going to be on the spot. If a woman takes it like, oh, he needs that to get excited for me, the bottom line is, he's excited. You're part of the equation. You're the major part of the equation. If it's like a little tool that he can go to, that's not a bad thing, in my opinion. Like, it's a reality for guys over 50. I'm sure most of them have tried it or are interested in learning more about it or whatever. And if that's like instant, boing, okay, fine. Why not? If you're a woman, maybe look at it like, he's not doing that. He's doing that so he can please me. He's not doing that because I don't turn him on, because that's
Mm-hmm.
not the intention. The intention isn't, oh, I take this little pill and now I'm like, it's just sex with anything. No, it's about the intimacy with you. If that's helping him along physically, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think you need the guy to talk about it. Just leave it alone. If you're getting satisfied,
Yeah.
what's the big deal?
I think the big takeaway here is the awareness that we need to be aware that there is some sort of, well, what they think about it, what we think about it, and what they think about it, meaning men. And you just said that there might be some shame because you can't get it up anymore or not as frequently as you wanted to. And then the woman internalizing, well, he's not attracted to me anymore. That on many levels will affect and maybe even destroy the sexual relationship because of what's going on in your head.
To me, it's like, it's all legitimate. Everything you said makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, if it's working and you're being satisfied, do you really have to like grill the guy on it, or is it really
No.
bother you, or you really take it personally? I mean, how do women feel about if their guy really rocks their world, and every once in a while he takes a little helper?
If I answer honestly, that does come up. Is that, well, is it me? I think we need to acknowledge that, because this way women who do feel the same don't feel alone. I think it's a natural thought, and I think it's natural for men to want to hide it because they can't, they're worried about being judged. Neither one is accurate by any means, but I think acknowledging that and that it exists is I think would be helpful to hear.
What, you mean you want the guy to tell you, like, I'm going to take Viagra now. I'll be
No,
right
no, no, no,
back.
no, no, no. That's
Yeah.
not what I mean at all. No, I don't mean talk about it, because
It's a
I
possibility. Like, in any relationship with people over 50, the guy might be getting a little helper. Maybe or
mhm.
maybe not. It all
Yeah. So don't,
depends
yeah, don't
on the
take it
situation.
personally. Don't take it
No,
personally that, yeah,
it's not
but
personal. And you could turn him on and rock his world big time, but you know what? He's a guy over 50 with diminishing testosterone and might have a lot of stuff going on. And if he needs a little mother's little helper on it, like, what, I don't see it's a big deal, but I'm not a woman. So it's up to the ladies to determine. Is like, is that, hey, I'm not doing the trick for him. He has to take that. That's up to you. But if you didn't know and he's rocking your world,
no,
is that bad?
no, it's not at all. I'm not putting any judgment on it. I'm
Right.
simply acknowledging that those thoughts exist, and that's
Of course.
okay. And
Yeah.
that's what that's kind of what this conversation is about. Is what don't men admit to or tell you? And this one I completely understand.
Yeah, and you flip it around, because I remember I was dating a woman. She says, I have to have my apple martini to like let myself go. And it's like, okay, fine. Apple martini right here, whatever it is. If that's their lubricant for them to relax them, fine, whatever. I'm not there to judge, to have them relax. I'm not them. And I think it has to work both ways because if the guy really feels like, oh, now I have to like, I'm on the spot because of this, and I have to like admit, like, this is okay, I took that, and blah blah. It's like, what? Why? How is that helping?
It's not. It's not. I think we're saying the same thing,
I think so.
but what's interesting about this is how it's striking us differently, and
Hmm.
that probably is an example of what goes on in the bedroom
Sure.
with this. Well, Robert,
Hmm.
we can, another topic we can talk about forever. If you're giving a woman advice, what's something that a woman can do today, to reignite the spark or get interest again in the bedroom if that's lacking, or just making a man feel desirable?
Well, I think you nailed it with the last comment. Make him feel desirable, whatever that means. And a lot of guys aren't spur of the moment, but maybe if you surprise him, maybe if you make the first move, maybe if you make him feel like he doesn't always have to be the one desperate for sex, like give the guy
Yeah.
a break. And I think he'll really appreciate that. And every situation is different. In a lot of relationships, the woman wants it more than the guy. And then the guy, as they get older, is like, again, it's so it's different. So I think if we're just gentle with ourselves and with our partners and know that I want this person to be happy. I want to please them. I don't want to judge them. And just find ways to make them feel as desirable as they listen. If they weren't desirable, would we be going to bed with them?
I think the key word is initiate. I think
Hmm.
that, if you're typically not the one to initiate, if you do, I think that
Right.
can really,
Huge. Agree.
yeah, make a difference in your sex life. And again, it goes both ways.
But a lot of times, unfortunately, the uninitiator remains the uninitiator, and
Yeah.
because people get stuck in their ways.
Robert, thank you. Always appreciate
Mm.
your candid discussions. These are important points, and we all think about it, and we don't know who to ask. So again, thank you for your time. I will link to all of your information, your book right there sitting behind me. Fabulous summary. Pick it up. And your radio show, Guys Radio, and your YouTube channel, Guys
Yep.
TV.
Thank you.
All the links are in the show notes, and I look forward to seeing you again soon on Second Act TV.
Thank you, Silka.